minus 320, of course. I get 12x and 180. And divide by 12. And x equals 50. So 15, 15 was close, 14, 16 was close, but to be accurate, well, plug it in and I get 15, 16. Now, again, we know our profit. Our objective function was 18x plus 15y, and again, for the sake of trying to save some time here, you would use a calculator for this. Even I would use a calculator for this, but I already have my answers here so I can cheat. Plug in 0, I get 0. Plug in 0 and 25, and 15 times 25, by the way, is 375. So I get that. I get 18 times 25 is 450. And 15 times 18 is 270. 16 times 15 is 240. And I get 510. So, it would make sense that we would have a little of each. It's not always that way, but if I just sold 25 of one and 0 of the other, it sure would seem like a waste of resources, right? So, to maximize my profit, I should buy 15 cases of mixed and 16 cases of roasted, and then at $510. What do you think? Seems like a lot of work, doesn't it?
Do people still do this?
Do people still do this? This is real world math. I wouldn't give it to you if it wasn't. People do this all the time. I can tell you, I know I've talked to, they don't own it anymore, but Wiersma's, you guys know Wiersma's on South Shore Drive? Okay. Somebody else owns it now, but the actual Wiersma's used to own it, and I had both of their children as students, and I've talked to them about this kind of stuff. They do it all the time in the real world. Now, I'm sure like D&W and Family Fair and the bigger stores do it as well, but for a little mom and pop shop, they got to make sure they're really accurate with this stuff. They don't have people way up that can help them out like somewhere else. They own their own place, right? So I know that I know that there's a yellow party store on the north side out by my house that does it as well. They own 2 different places, and nobody owns them but themselves. They have to do stuff like this all the time to figure out where can I make my maximum profit. Okay. So with that being said, we're done with this. Let's go back to the linear programming introduction. This thing. Okay. The one that I asked you to do number 1. Now, you guys already did number 1. For homework, I'm going to ask you to do numbers 2 through 6. And you've got about 20 minutes in class that you can get started. I would recommend, I think you can do 2 through 5. 6 is a story time. I would recommend you start with 6 right now, because you're in class. You can ask each other questions. You can ask me. You can ask Mr. Ford, excuse me. Any of that, I would suggest to start on 6. Do you have to? No. You start at 2 and just get to 6. Tomorrow, I'm going to put you in groups, and you're going to, in your group, turn in 1 copy that's going to count for all of your grades. And so, in other words, you want to do this, because otherwise if you get in your group tomorrow and you don't have stuff done, you're not going to be able to contribute like you should. This assignment's going to be worth 40 points, and it's going to be due by the end of class tomorrow.
Do you need posters? The posters
The posters are for a different thing. In fact, you'll get to that. It's not for like a week yet, at least 2 years. Okay. We're going to do a little project in here, I think. Yeah. I'm still kind of undecided about that, but I think that's what's going to happen. So again, 2 through 6, don't even look at 7 and 8 yet. I'm going to help you with 7. In fact, I'm probably going to do most of number 7 for you tomorrow. But 2 through 6, you should be able to do. Okay? The only other thing I want to make sure I touch base on is in number 2, I think you can all do this line. How do I go about doing this line? You guys remember it? 0 less than x less than 8. What if I just did that? Do you remember the line x equals 8? Let me zoom this here. How do I graph the line x equals 8?
It's going to be on the dotted.
It's going
And
to
then it's going to be like
That's right. It's going to be a vertical or horizontal line. And in x, it goes through the x. So x equals 8 is right here. I'm doing this very crudely. I'm not using a straight edge. There's that. And then the 0 would just be here as well. Okay? That is your x between 0 and 8. And you would shade in between. What do you think I'm going to do with the 5? Yep, horizontal. That 5 keep in mind, you still have to graph that one too, but that's how those work, okay? Again, you got about, well, probably a little less than 20 minutes now to work on this in class. If you have questions, ask. I'll keep this up here for you so you can check it out. And if you want to start with this one, just finish this one and then go to number 6, you can do that. You can do it in any order you want, but know that we're here available for you. And we will be at lunch as well.